often talk to friends back in the States, and some of the things that they say just blow my mind. And I think it's just because I'm so used to living here that I think I just don't fit in the States anymore. And now I do have to say that this is not a diss track for Americans or Europeans. This ain't a diss track. This is just my unique perspective. So if you want to pull up, make sure you pull up in the comments after you hit that subscribe button. But man, what made me think about this and just how I just don't fit in the States anymore is I was on the phone with a friend who lives in Atlanta, and he was telling me how there was so much traffic on 285. And if you don't know, Atlanta is one of these places where you need a car. Like Georgia, you need a car. But we were chatting it up, and then he says that they're still doing construction on 285. Now, pimpin', I have mentioned this in a video, I would say maybe a year ago. And when I went to Atlanta, there was still construction on 285. Now, pimpin', if you don't understand why this is terrible, well, the reason that this is terrible is because construction has been going on 285 for like 20 years. And what's even worse is when I went, it was like in the same, like construction when I lived there was still going on in the same little 285 area, which makes no sense to me. Matter of fact, the same thing happened in LA. They were doing construction on a bunch of things, and these projects are still ongoing. And it's just taken an incredibly, like a crazy amount of time to get this stuff done. And this is the thing that I don't understand. I don't understand why these projects take 10 plus years, 20 years. I don't understand. And that's something that I don't think I can get used to, because here, things get done so quickly. And I'm talking from road repairs to renovations to just touch up of buildings, things like that. It just gets done. And that's what I mean by I just don't fit in over there. I am so used to progress being made on certain things. Like, but when I do go back to the States to visit, it almost feels like you're stepping back in time, which is a strange thing considering a lot of these buildings. Like if you look at these buildings, and if you look at the infrastructure over here and the architecture over here, a lot of this stuff is so old. We're talking like hundreds of years old, and yet it looks better maintained than like everything in America that I've seen. And man, that is a bit of exaggeration, but it's the truth at the same time, man. That's why it feels like you go back in time when you go visit, like for real, which is crazy because a lot of things here are much older than over there, but it's just well maintained. And not only maintained, but also innovative, like the short receipts. Like pimpin', we've been doing receipts the same in the States since I could ever remember. Versus here, someone in their mind was like, you know what? This is wasting a lot of paper. Why don't we give people the option of having short receipts? Little innovations that help out daily life, like innovations to public transport, innovations to like the roads and the grounds. Like you just don't see that like a lot in the States. Like you just don't. I don't know why, but they stick, like if they figured something out 50 years ago, it's gonna be like that for another 50. I also noticed too that innovation is a bit rough on Americans in the sense of a lot of people are not used to change or things being different. For example, pimpin', if we brought over the short receipts from here over there, like if someone was like, you know what, I saw this done in the Netherlands, yeah, we should do this in the States, save some paper, right? Bet money it would take like 25 years to get this up and running because people will reject it. Like people will be up in arms. All right, shout out to Mo. Oh man, these kids threw me all off my flow. But yeah, just something that simple, like the option of giving short receipts versus these long itemized receipts. Every transaction, people will reject it. Next thing you know, it's all over Fox News with the headline, breaking, companies issue new short receipts, what the government doesn't want you to see. That sounds crazy, but it happens, I'm telling you. Hey, look, I'm just Super Saiyan. Okay, quick side note, it is Christmas, so everything in the square is, yeah, everything is up. So you got the rides, you got drinks over here, and a place for the kids to eat and all that stuff. And then you got the Ferris wheel over there, which I did the other day. You got this little ride right here that looks kind of crazy. I don't think my kids are old enough to ride it yet. And then just a bunch more. The merry-go-round is over there. My kids love the merry-go-round. I love the Ferris wheel. But yeah, it is pretty early in the morning, so obviously in an hour or so, all of this stuff will be open. But yeah, good fun. Okay, now quick side note, man, I don't know if y'all can tell, but the weather is not that great. Look at this. Let me look at that. Man, it's all gray. It was literally just super sunny yesterday. And then honestly though, it rained. It rained a lot yesterday too. Luckily though, it's not super cold, which is nice. So I actually dressed appropriately today. I actually like this weather. I'm not gonna, it's like perfect for me. Hey. And now something else that really kind of blows my mind now that made me realize that I don't think I fit in the States anymore is the workers' rights. Like I'm not gonna lie. Before I lived here, I didn't know what workers' rights were. I didn't know it existed. Oh, some kids saying hi. But the more and more I learn about workers' rights, the more I am like baffled by how people work in the States and how treating people a certain way is actually legal. Like when my sister be telling me about certain things about her job and how much she's working, I'm like I don't even know what to say about it. But I can say that it is just completely backwards in my opinion. Well, it looks like this place doesn't have any power. I wonder what happened. Like it's all dark in there and people are still sitting in there working. But anyway, what made me think about this was yesterday I got on the bus, right? And as soon as I got on the bus, I tapped my card in and the bus driver was like, hey, hello. And he said that, he was so happy. And he said this to everybody who got on. Like he was just happy. Like legit, literally just singing to everybody who's getting on the bus and people who are saying bye to get off the bus. As soon as I got off, right? I was like, do it. And he was like, totes. And then also, ironically, I got on another bus to go back to Harlem. And when I got on the bus, the bus driver was literally like, Sky, I know you. I know I'm about to get hit. I'm in the street and that's not my turn. It's not my turn to go. Not paying attention. Getting lost in the sauce. But yeah, and then the same thing when I was getting off the bus, I was like, totes now. And he was like, hey, booze. And then it made me realize that a lot of people here they like their job. They're happy to do their job. Now, not everyone, but a lot of people genuinely like their job. The teachers that I work with, you can tell they like to teach. The people who are the baristas at the cafes, you can tell that they like to be there. Unless, they're students and, obviously they're young and they think about something else. Same thing with the people that I work with at my job. When I go into office, people genuinely like to be there and do their job. Again, I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not saying work and jobs and things like that are perfect here. But I have a theory as to why a lot of people are like this. Versus in the States, it's the complete opposite. People hate their job. People are exhausted. People are stressed. And I have this theory as to why that is. So just hear me out. And it goes back to that whole thing of worker rights. And now again, I do have to state that I don't know everything about workers' rights, but from what I understand, my theory is that people are genuinely unhappy with their job, with working in the States. The reason for that is they're just simply overworked. And actually, I was a perfect example of this myself. I loved my job in LA. I actually loved being a segment producer when I was in Atlanta, even though it was part-time. I also loved the jobs I had before that, coaching gymnastics and working at Best Buy and working at the movie theater. I actually really enjoyed those jobs until they started to get exhausting to the point where I was working too many hours and I had no time for myself. Even when I worked in LA, same thing. Working these 20+ hour days, that's when I started to not like the job. I was just getting exhausted and I was overworked. And when you are exhausted and overworked, the joy of the job goes away. The appreciation for the job goes away, as well as the quality of work that you're doing starts to tumble. This is what happened to me, and this is what happens to a lot of Americans. So think about someone like a police officer or a teacher. These people have hard jobs. That's why I say, look, pimpin', I am team blue. Although they don't make me feel safe, I am still team blue. Because without a doubt, they have hard jobs. I even have friends who are officers back in the States. And I couldn't imagine having a job like this. But people do this job and it is hard. And yet they're underpaid and they're just way overworked. And then the sad part about it all is that you'll have people that say, well, why are they a police officer anyway? Why are they a teacher anyway? Why didn't they go to school to do coding or be a scientist or anything, something that makes a lot of money? When the fact is, they chose this job because they wanted to do it. This is what they want to do. The pay did not matter. And that's a good thing because you need people to do these jobs. At the end of the day, we need police officers. We need teachers. We need them. And the same thing here. We need bus drivers. We need teachers. We need police officers. But one huge difference is the police officers here, they have workers' rights. The teachers here, they have workers' rights. Even the bus drivers, they have rights. And these rights protect them from being used and taken advantage of and from being overworked. The combination of being stressed and overworked, that's a terrible combination, as well as underpaid pimp. And look, I had a good job and I really liked my job and I was paid well. But the stress level and the exhaustion, think about it, it started to make me hate it, right? So I can't imagine being a police officer or a teacher. But meanwhile here, that's why you could have people who have jobs like being a bus driver or a policeman or a policewoman that are just happy. And also why you could have your maintenance guy come in to fix a stove and he can come in looking like a model. Oh, on a side note, that really happened. Like this dude came in like to fix the stove and do something with the top, looking like a GQ model. And he was cheesing. He was happy to do his job. And then there's a bunch of other reasons why I know I don't fit in America anymore. But I think one of the big ones, or one of the last big ones, would have to be the way being outside is perceived. Actually, I don't want to say perceived because perceived almost, I don't care what people think, but I want to say the way being outside is just looked at. The culture of being outside is different than the culture of being outside here. An example of this is when you say you go outside in America. When you say going outside, it's always associated with spending money. For example, if you're like, oh man, caught me slipping. I know I wasn't supposed to spend any money, but I was outside today. And then on the opposite end of that, it's also associated with being poor. If people see you walking, they think you homeless because you're just walking. And I do have to state, this is not all of America. In major cities, it's completely different. People will walk. Most major cities, people will walk. I don't know why people still drive in major cities, but they do. But I would say the majority of places, like the suburbs, where people actually want to live, you are seen as poor if you're outside walking. That's just the truth. Matter of fact, I can't even tell y'all how many times I've been offered money because I was just outside walking. And yeah, me being me, I like being outside. I do. I've always loved being outside. Since I was a kid, I've been hugging the block. And ever since I first started traveling to whether it was Europe or Asia, a lot of these places also like being outside too. It's not just about working and going home or just being in the house all the time or being isolated from other people. It's about being a part of community and just the world being the playground that it is and seeing people and being around people. Just in Florida a couple months back, someone stopped me and asked if I needed help. I was like, no, I'm just going out for a walk. But also, to be fair, I have gone to places where you don't see a lot of people outside. And this is mostly I'm trying to think. I would say Ireland is one of those places where you can go to Ireland and be in Sligo or something and people will not be outside. They're not hugging the block in neighborhoods. And that to me feels more like America in the sense that you notice they have two things in common, and that is you have to have a car. But man, I'm just being honest, people in America just don't hug the block like that. And they're just not outside just for the enjoyment of being outside. Even when I ask friends to go out for a walk when I go visit, they're well, they look at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. Walk? Why don't we go for a walk? Same in LA. I would go, we would make plans to go out for dinner or to go eat somewhere. And I would say, well, we could just walk over. It's why do we want to walk? What? Walking over? What's that? Like I'm the crazy one for wanting to like go outside for a walk. So yeah, I definitely don't fit in America anymore. Side note pimping, we got our cappuccino, man. Now Clay telling y'all, they are boss when it comes to cappuccino, man. They do not play around. And they brought the honey too, pimping. Holla at a player. Make our Skyppuccino real quick. Oh, wait. Actually, you know what? Here, go ahead. Get on that cookie. Go ahead. There you go. Go ahead. Dig in. Go ahead. Go ahead. Man, that's a good cappuccino. The little ducky game over here. My kids love playing this. And we got the fry stand with hot dogs. And yeah, just a bunch more. Now, it is early in the morning. That's why it's not open. I'm actually heading into work because I just dropped the kids off.